Hello, welcome to Local Anesthetic Podcast, your injection of mind-numbing local news. Hopefully not that mind-numbing. It'll be humorous, I promise you that. This is episode 342. We're recording on Thursday, the 12th of July. Both Rob and I have finished work. So we're, well, tired, but ready for this episode, Rob. And how are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Which always feels strange now, because I don't know, under the pressures of COVID, it feels strange saying I'm okay, but I am okay. Yeah, it's been a relatively uneventful week. Yeah, that's it really.
But I think, Rob, a lot of that's because you've got the distraction. You've got the distractions of a child, if you see what I mean. I mean, that is, if you think about it in the hierarchy of what's important, that's going to take precedent, and it's always going to motivate you. I would hope. You know, I'm assuming you're not negligent.
I don't really ever. I mean, to be honest, Alex, I mean, I've said this to you before. I mean, yes, obviously she's in the household, but she's not really my responsibility. I leave that to Sarah.
Yeah, as it should be. Rob, you text me in the week because you and I and this podcast have a long association with Timmy Mallet, and you posted me a story about Timmy Mallet. I didn't know if you wanted to mention it on the podcast because I was very amused by it. I mean, I couldn't quite work out what the hell was going on, but.
No, I'm not. I'm not entirely sure. Now, it was a few days before the start of the season, but it seems that Timmy Mallet was in the Swindon area and decided to visit the county ground and basically wished us well via his Twitter feed for the upcoming season.
Was he with his partner Roland Rat? Because we know they're in a relationship. It's it's not it's a well-known secret in the industry.
There was no suggestion of that, unfortunately. But it would have been nice. I think he must have been on a bike because he had a cycle helmet on. I'm assuming that's not his day-to-day attire.
Well, I wouldn't be too sure, Rob.
I was going to tell you this anecdote last week, and it completely slipped my mind. So I went to go and see my stepsister, my stepmum, a few weeks back, and we got into the conversation of godparents.
Are you telling me that I'm out? Is this where this is going?
Very much in. No,
okay. Because I thought what was coming here was, unfortunately, you've been bumped.
Yeah, we realised that there are more important people in our lives, and unfortunately, yeah, you slipped down the hierarchy. No, so basically, so the conversation has turned to godparents, and Michelle was joking with her mother, my mother-in-law. Sorry, not mother-in-law, stepmother. That the people that she chose, that her parents chose, were slightly they weren't necessarily upstanding characters. In fact, she alludes to one of them being possibly an East End gangster. At which point my stepmom shot back. She said, "Well, he wasn't the worst one. We could have given you and this is a genuine name, Tommy Mallet."
Tommy Mallet.
Tommy Mallet. So just imagine Timmy Mallet, but Tommy. Tommy Mallet was his genuine name.
Is Tommy Mallet Timmy Mallet's sort of brother that nobody ever speaks about?
It could well be. Yeah, that's a very good point. I like to think that if he was the worst choice, and if he was maybe a bit of a wide boy, that his weapon of choice would be the mallet. I mean, it's.
Oh, I see what you mean. So Timmy Mallet had the squishy mallet that he hit kids over the head with on TV in a game, but Tommy Mallet actually bludgeoned people to death with a mallet in the East End in an alleyway somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. It's a weapon that doesn't have finesse, but it gets the job done. He gets the sledgehammer out the boot of his car, and the problem just goes away.
Okay, well, that's a lovely story, Rob. Yeah, that's a lovely story. Do you have godparents? I've got godparents.
Yeah, I do have godparents. Yeah, I haven't seen them in many. Yeah, I mean, the people I've spoken to, they don't speak to their godparents. It's very rare. But no, I mean, I don't think I've spoken to my godparents.
Is that why you made me one of Lyra's godparents?
Well, Alex, I mean, the friendship is predominantly based around this podcast, and once this podcast reaches its eventual conclusion, I feel that I owe you nothing.
Well, legally, I've been looking up and I've been discussing with lawyers about, because I will be, come the christening, as long as our friendship continues or our working relationship continues,
yep.
Lyra's godfather. And legally, I actually have many rights. I have visitation rights. I think that there is some loophole where you actually are going to have to give me a monthly stipend, just so you know. But Rob, what I was going to say about your godparents is, technically, as you know, godparents are meant to support the child if the child's parents are no longer around. Now,
Yes.
in your case, could you not turn up to your godparents and say, I am now your responsibility?
Well, technically speaking, I am an orphan. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm not making
could
light
just
of that, by the way, but I'm I'm more looking for the comedic explanation of you turning up to your godparents and saying, I'm going to move in with you.
Yeah, just say, I hate to inform you that of my parents passing. Legally, though, you are now required to care for my every need. So I would require maybe a house and as you said, a small stipend.
Can I just check with you, Rob? Will I be legally obliged to look after Lyra in a very unfortunate eventuality? Is it legal or is it not legal? Is it more of a gentleman's agreement?
I think. I think you'd be able to contest it. I'm not. Alex, I'd like not to think of the situation where, that we're both wiped out in maybe some sort of car or bus crash, and then you're having to assume the responsibilities as Lyra's father. Let's keep it lighthearted.
Okay. Well, Rob, we've been prattling on for long enough.
I have news as well, by the way. I have news. Right. Yes, I have news.
Go on then.
I realised, by the way, that obviously on this podcast we we mentioned it quite heavily about an advert, so a Tango advert specifically, and I realised we didn't actually give an update. So one of Alex's friends, very kind.
Oh, we forgot.
We didn't mention it.
You're right. It's actually one of our listeners called HP Lover found out where this was.
Well, obviously that's a massive relief for me. It means that my mental faculties aren't quite as diminished as I once thought they were. But also, Kyber has been in touch and has also very kindly found the advert.
Right. Well done then. 2 people found it then. And it does exist. I watched it and I remembered it immediately.
Yeah. So, Kyber, what I'm going to do, I'm going to share your post, which is in the forum on the Facebook page, just so people can see that I'm still mentally with it. Also, he was asking that if local anaesthetic do form their own currency, what sort of exchange rate could we expect with the Stroud pound? If you remember the Stroud pound, which is obviously the local currency that's exchanged within Stroud shops, I would think that any sort of cryptocurrency launched by this podcast would be extremely strong. I would say maybe as an equivalent, so maybe the pound versus the Turkish lira. So I would say it would be one LA podcast cryptocurrency. What do we say it was? Was it LA pound? LA coin? I can't remember recording.
I mean, I just need to be clear before you make any commitments. I mean, I'm very clear that one LA Bitcoin or one LA token or whatever it's called will be equivalent to one Zimbabwean dollar.
Yes, exactly that. So that's the comparison you need to make. So if you can, Kyber, you need to go back and just compare the Stroud pound to the Zimbabwean dollar.
Okay. Is that it, Rob?
Yes.
Okay. I now have a classic UK-based local anaesthetic story, Rob, from a local paper that I don't think we've ever featured. You've got a very good memory, Rob, so you might be able to tell me if we have. This story, Rob, is from the Eastbourne Herald.
No, I don't think we have. That sounds like a new paper to me.
I love it when we get a new paper. I love it. I really do.
Yeah, me too.
I like to think that one day we'll be doing this long enough that we will have covered a story from every paper in the UK. By that time, of course, there won't be many left.
No, good point. I wonder if there is a comprehensive record of all the local papers. It would be nice to see where you can tick them off.
Yeah. If anybody knows if there is, get in touch. Right, Rob. It's by Jacob Pannons. It's more recent than the other story. It's the 12th of August, 2021, which is today. Right. Yes, today. Man's handwriting was so bad, Eastbourne bank staff didn't know he was trying to rob them.
Oh, that's...
Rob, this is a tragic story.
See, Alex, I've said it. I've said it over and over again. If you're going to try and rob a bank, at least have a decent level of literacy.
Yeah. Well, this is a story, Rob. Police said Alan Slattery, I assume no relation to Tony Slattery, 67, retired of Stonehouse Drive, St Leonard's, was given a 6-year extended sentence when he appeared at Lewis Crown Court on Friday, July 16th. Slattery entered 3 banks in Eastbourne and Hastings in the space of 2 weeks and used written notes to ask cashiers to hand over money. According to the police, his first attempt was at the Nationwide Building Society in Terminus Road, which was unfortunately named for him, really, I think, Eastbourne, at 10:45am on March 18th, 2021. But due to his poor handwriting, the employee was unable to read the note and Slattery left empty-handed. A Sussex police spokesperson said staff at the bank later managed to read the note. Would you like to know? I've got it in front of me here. Some of it is illegible.
So the staff of the bank later, so after he'd left, they managed to figure out, I love if there was a moment of realisation, that's what he was trying to do. Oh. Yeah,
that's a shame. Okay, so his note says,
if you're making this up that you can't read it, that's brilliant.
No, it is difficult to read. Your scream won't stop what I've got. Just hand over the 10s and 20s. Think about the customers.
Sorry, your scream won't stop what I've got. What? That's just an odd start to a I would say a ransom note, but to any sort of note. Why would you put that? Why not just start with something more?
Oh no, hang on. I think I've misread it. They're saying it says your screen won't stop what I've got. Still doesn't make sense. Just hand over the 10s and 20s. Think about the customers. What I love is, Rob, is if you're going to rob a bank and risk a very long time in prison, at least aim high. Don't just ask for some £10 notes and £20 notes.
Yeah, true. But also, Alex, why mention Scream? Just go with a classic, this is a hold-up, give me all your money. What's wrong with that?
You're right, Rob. They then rang the police, who attended and seized a note and CCTV footage from inside the bank. Police said on March 26th, which I guess is 8 days later, Slattery entered the Nationwide Building Society branch in London Road. There's his mistake. Why would you go to another branch of the same bank? That seems to me a mistake. But anyway.
Yeah, Alex, I hate to say it, but this man is clearly a moron, that's why.
In London Road, St Leonard's, where he handed a threatening note over to the cashier, who in fear for her safety handed over £2,400 in cash. As inquiries were ongoing to trace Slattery, police received a call from NatWest Bank in Havelock Road, Hastings, around 1:20pm on April the 1st. Staff at the bank reported a man entering the branch and handing over a threatening note demanding money. The cashier challenged the man, who left empty-handed. Upon receiving this report, officers said they attended the last known address for Slattery and identified him walking in the vicinity. He was arrested on suspicion of robbery, 2 counts of attempted robbery, according to police. A search of his address found some sticky labels identical to the label that had been handed to staff at NatWest Bank and a jacket that matched that of the man seen on CCTV from NatWest. Because he is, of course, wearing a mask in the bank. I mean, I wonder, Rob, has coronavirus been a boon for bank robbers? Because you can cover your face in a bank, which beforehand you couldn't.
Quite possibly, Alex. Yeah, that's a very good point. Also, can I just ask, did he use the same note all 3 times? I like the idea that he was asking for the note back along with the cash.
Yeah.
Just to save, saves him writing another one.
To be fair to him, Rob, he put his hands up. He pleaded guilty to all 3 offences. He was given a 6-year extended sentence consisting of 4 years in custody, 2 years on licence. Investigating officer Detective Constable J. Fair, so he is a fair cop, Rob, said These incidents caused fear and distress to the employees working in the banks and to the wider public. I know I was afraid, Rob. I'd like to thank all the victims and witnesses who supported our investigation. I'm pleased to see the severity of the offences reflected in the sentence handed out by the court. So, just more evidence, really, that, unfair sort of educational systems which lead to illiteracy eventually might lead to crime, and then you go into prison where you still can't read or write and your life is pretty fucked, really. I mean, I'm not saying what he did was okay, but it's a sad indictment, Rob, of Britain. Okay. I mean,
where do you want me to go with that? Just out of interest.
I didn't ask you to say anything. Okay, Rob. Stories. More stories. Do you have some stories for us? Please.
Yep, so first story.
Can I have some more? I've finished now.
Let's not do this. The weird Dickensian orphan thing. Which is nice, actually, because usually you're portraying me.
Have you got some stories, sir?
Okay. Anyway, so my first story is from the Mirror. The Mirror, even. It is from the 11th of August. What's the date today? That's yesterday, isn't it? It's by Zana Eklund. And the headline: Mum's surprise birthday guest backfires as children flee party screaming in fear.
Any party, especially a children's one, that ends with the children screaming, running away, screaming in fear, has not been a success.
No, I think that's a fair point. Yeah. So when
because Rob, I once performed at a children's party, don't you? As a clown.
Yes.
And nobody ran away screaming in fear from that, Rob. It was jelly and ice cream all round.
Right. Aren't there any pictures of this? Just out of interest.
No, there aren't. But I was dressed as a magician. I was wearing a waistcoat, as I remember, and some sort of top hat. I could have been the next big thing, Rob. The next Paul Daniels or David Copperfield.
Right. Sure. So
Russ Abbott was booked that day, fully booked, and he's not even a magician, Rob.
No, but he's the consummate entertainer. Is he still alive? I think he is, isn't he?
Well, actually, he is a magician because he somehow managed to make a career out of being fairly shit.
I thought you were about to say he made his career disappear.
Even better, Rob. Nice.
I miss Russ Abbott. I'm probably the only one. Right, anyway. So when it comes to planning children's birthday parties, it's not uncommon to hire a performer to keep the little ones entertained.
Like such as myself.
Exactly.
You never asked me what my clown name was.
Alex, when you entertained at that children's party, what was your clown name?
Bingo.
That's not true, is it?
No, I can't remember what my clown name is. Do you want to pick a clown name for me?
Bozo?
Well, that's a bit obvious.
Shitty the clown?
Cunt face.
Okay. I mean, it's definitely one for the parents, that. But while go-to talents include magicians and singers, as we've already mentioned, one couple decided to be unconventional with their choice and really give their daughter and her friends something to remember by hiring. Do you want to take a guess?
Is it that monkey man with the dildo between his legs? The butt monkey. The dildo butt monkey guy.
You mean the rainbow dildo butt monkey?
Yeah.
No, but that's not a million miles away from who they actually hired.
An orangutan.
Still very close. So we're thinking mythical creature. Well, pseudo mythical creature.
The fuck is a pseudo mythical creature? Are you the mythical creature? You're not, Rob.
There was a TV show in the 90s that involved this creature living with a family.
Alf.
No.
Oh.
Final guess?
Was it a British show?
Do you remember Harry and the Hendersons?
Yes. Bigfoot?
Yeah. Bigfoot.
Well, what do you mean a pseudo-mythical creature? So you're now going on record to say Bigfoot exists, are you, Rob?
No, that's why I said it. That's why I called it pseudo-mythical creature. I'm saying that it could exist.
Oh, God. Yeah, okay. Okay. Maybe Bigfoot. Oh, you're right. Maybe. Yeah, Harry and the Hendersons was brilliant.
Yeah, I used to enjoy it.
That guy from Beethoven in it, didn't it? The dad from Beethoven, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yes, it did. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it did. That's right. Can't remember his name. He also made his career disappear. Not quite as funny. He wasn't a magician. But then nor was Russ Abbott. Anyway, let's move on.
As far as we know, Russ Abbott might have been a magician, Rob.
What was he famous? Did he used to do impressions?
Well, it was sketches, wasn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
He's like a Brian Connolly of his day, Rob. Whatever happened to Brian Connolly?
Brian Connolly.
It's a puppet.
He was doing pantomime in London last year.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's where comedians go to die. Pantomime.
But I mean, Alex, we're talking about the Dominion Theatre. He was on on Talker Road. He was a big deal. I mean, for that one performance. Anyway, let's move on. So the parents took to TikTok to reveal they accidentally made their 6-year-old daughter scream in terror when the hairy monster arrived. Again, hairy monster is not a euphemism. When the hairy monster arrived at her birthday party wearing a tutu and holding a bunch of balloons.
Sorry, Bigfoot in a tutu holding a bunch of balloons.
Yes.
I'm sure I've got that in one of my magazines.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. The girl's mother, Brett, and her husband posted a video which showed the moment that their daughter and her friends saw the person dressed as the beast lurked at the window, sparking every child to scream and cry in fear.
Rob, on this, we know that we don't want to go into it too much. You spent some time away from society because you used to dress up as the honey monster in that costume. Did you ever think, Rob, that actually you could have been potentially frightening innocent passers-by? Because some people will have been disturbed to see the honey monster, walking down the road, pissed.
Who? I mean, that's quite slanderous, what you've just said there.
Well, you were shouting obscenities, Rob. That's what I mean. You did actually bring down the good name of is it Nestle who make sugar puffs?
Yeah, the good name of Nestle. Yeah.
Yeah, don't say anything else, Rob. Yeah, the good name of Nestle.
Yeah. Okay. What was your? No, Alex. I think the difference is that the honey monster is a beloved children's character, whereas Bigfoot really isn't.
Right.
And those kids would run up to me. Well, not run up to me, maybe run away from me, but that's more to do with the swearing, to be fair. Anyway, look, we're getting distracted here. So, Brett wrote on the video, the one time we hired Bigfoot shenanigans to surprise our sweet girl for a birthday party, and it went epically wrong. The video quickly went viral, and people couldn't get enough of this hilarious clip, even if the poor children had been left traumatized and needing therapy.
I do want to see that video.
It's on the Mirror's website, by the way, if you do want to watch it.
I'll have to watch it.
It is worth a watch, yeah.
Hang on. Okay. Give me the headline again.
Mum's surprise birthday guest backfires as children flee party, screaming in fear.
And I'll put in Bigfoot. I'll put in Bigfoot for good measure. Here we go. Mirror straight away. Ooh. Okay, I'm watching the video. Oh my God! I don't know if you can hear. These are genuinely traumatized children. Bigfoot is outside the window of the house with balloons, waving. Rob, they're terrified.
Yeah, that's, as I said, some may be left traumatized and needing therapy.
Okay, just so you know, the video as it went on, all the kids are hiding in the corner, literally terrified. I mean, why did anybody think? It's not like they knew who that was. It's not like it was anything recognisable to them. It was a very creepy thing outside the window holding balloons in a tutu.
Yeah, it's utterly bizarre. What possessed them to choose that character is beyond me. So my next story is from the Argus, which, as we've featured before, covers kind of the Brighton, Hove, Worthington area. Sorry, Worthing, not Worthington. It is also from the 11th of August by Henry Tomlinson. And the headline...
Well, Worthingtons are sweet.
Are you not thinking of Werthers?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Those were creepy, those adverts, really, looking back at them. Were they? Or were they just innocent, Rob?
See, the Werthers original is one of those things that it feels like it's been around for a very long time, but I think it's just a very effective marketing campaign, because I think they were only produced in the 90s. Yeah,
like my grandfather would never have heard of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it seems to be that they were the kind of the go-to suite of old people. I mean, I have to say, I do enjoy Werther's original. It is quite pleasant. But
Rob, sorry, are you the only person around still eating Werther's originals?
No, I'm not saying I don't go out of my way to buy them. I'm just saying, if I see an old person, I would deliberately go up to them and ask whether they've got one.
Rob, just stop. Is Lyra sleeping on a bed of Werther's originals? Packets of them from Costco.
Look, Alex, I made a small miscalculation with how many I ordered. Okay, and I hear it's very good for your back. I mean, obviously she can't eat them; she's got no teeth. Although she can suck them, so
yeah, exactly. Okay.
Anyway, look on with the story. So, Worthington man with foot fetish guilty of nuisance.
Worthing.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Worthing. Worthing man with foot fetish guilty of nuisance NHS calls.
Weren't Worthingtons a sweet?
No, we've covered this.
Oh right, sorry. Yeah. God. Oh no, you're not doing the foot fetish story, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, you bastard! I've got that. Oh man, I love that story.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is a good story.
Yeah. Okay, I got it from the BBC.
Oh, this is a local paper. This is the dedication I have for this podcast. I'll go and find the local news story that I think I saw on Twitter. So, a time waster made more than 1,000 nuisance calls to NHS hotline to indulge his foot fetish.
Yeah, now when I read this story, I couldn't quite work out how it'd work. So I'll be interested how they cover it and if they explain it a bit better to me. But either way, it's bizarre.
Okay. So, Richard William Cove often impersonated an elderly woman during the calls, which cost the taxpayer £21,869.21.
How How did it cost us that? That's what I don't understand. But let's see if you can.
It's because they're wasting time. They're wasting the resources of the NHS hotline.
All right, so it's an abstract idea. Then it's not,
Well, yeah, okay. So, whilst pretending to be an OAP, he would talk about his feet before engaging the call handler to do the same.
Right. So let's do that then. I want you to be this guy. How the hell do you bring? So you're pretending to be an old lady, and I'm the call handler, right? Yeah, so what seems to be the problem, love?
Oh, hello. I'm hoping you can help me. I seem to have a problem with my feet, and I'm wondering if you could give me some advice.
Oh, whoa, I'm sorry. What seems to be the problem with your feet, dear?
Well, they're quite swollen at the moment. So if you can just... What would be helpful is if you can just tell me about your feet, then I can talk about my issue in more detail because I can explain it to you. So what kind of feet do you have? You sound like quite a nice young man. Your feet quite soft?
I have very big, hairy feet. In fact, people call me Bigfoot. I scare children away at parties.
Oh, God. Okay, lovely. Are you quite a sweaty man, or...?
I'm a clown. Bingo the clown. Big clown feet. Big, moist, sweaty clown feet.
Jesus Christ. Oh, God. My feet. I'm going to have to go now, bye.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. So the 45-year-old admitted making time-wasting calls to the NHS one-woman advice line for more than 2 years. Police eventually tracked him down and arrested him at his home in Boundary Road, Heen, Worthing.
Sorry, can I just say, the aptly named Boundary Road, this man did not understand boundaries. Rob.
Yeah, true.
How did they track him down? They were tracing that call, like in the movies.
I'm assuming so. Maybe they got his phone number and just worked out where the phone was registered to.
All that,
yeah. So PC Dan Quayle, good name, said he admitted making all these calls.
Isn't Dan Quayle a famous actor?
Do you know his name's not even Dan Quayle? I misread that. It's PC David Quayle.
And also, isn't it? Is it Dan Quayle? No, Dan Quayle was a politician.
Was he?
Isn't it? Yeah, Dan Quayle is a famous politician in America, and isn't Dennis Quayle the actor? My God!
Are you thinking of Dennis Quaid?
That's it, Dennis Quaid and Dan. Hang on, and Dan
wasn't Dennis Quaid in Inner Space?
Yes. Am I getting that wrong? Yes, hang on. But Dan Quayle is an American lawyer and politician who served as 44th Vice President of the United States under President George H.W. Bush. So there you fucking go.
Okay.
But now he seems to be working as a police officer in Worthing.
Yeah, apparently so.
Right.
Also, do we establish who Dennis Quaid is?
Yeah. Well, I don't know who Dan... No,
Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid. What?
Who's the person in this? Who's the person in this space? Is it Dennis Quaid?
Let me hang on.
He was in a lot, Rob. He was the
Dennis
Steve
Quaid.
Guttenberg of his day.
I'm not sure that's necessarily positive. Yes, Dennis Quaid was in Inner Space. Good. I'm glad that we've. Apparently Meg Ryan was as well. There we go. I'm glad that we've established that. Where was I? Okay. Yeah. So PC David Quayle said he'd admitted making all the calls. They were for his own enjoyment and personal benefit. He said he had a foot fetish, which he indulged in during most of the calls.
Sorry, I just need to be clear. This Dennis Quayle, or whatever his name is, you quoted him as saying that he was the one making the calls, but it's not him, it's the other guy.
So, well, his quote is he admitted to making all the calls. So, yeah, okay. He's talking about the Mr. Cove.
He's not coming out as being the culprit. Okay, good.
No. I mean, he may have a foot fetish, but there's nothing in the story that suggests that. So, just to make that clear, PC David Quayle may or may not have a foot fetish. So COVID abused the NHS.
Rob, one of my publications, which is all about feet, which is called Stand on Me, which is a play on words of Stand by Me.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's all about feet. That's all I've got to say.
I mean, yeah. Well, Again, I've got nothing. So yeah, he admitted all the charges. Apparently he provided false personal details and medical ailments during his calls to the hotline. Yeah, I think that's quite enough of that. So we'll leave that one there.
It is time for our listener story of the week. And I did promise to Claire, didn't I, one of our listeners, that I was going to start playing in the lead up to it my compositions. So, well, not compositions because they are ad hoc. They are improvised. Here's this episode, Rob.
Okay. That was long.
Yeah, my purple rod is long. That's true.
I mean, sure. Yeah,
it's long and it's got lots of holes in it.
Yeah, you need to get that looked at, Alex. So this week's listener story is from Steve. It is from the Whole Live website, which we've covered before. I think, Alex, we're going to need some romantic music, if that's okay.
Oh, absolutely. Is it a love story, Rob?
It is a love story, Alex.
Oh, God, I've missed them. Okay, hang on. Actually, I'll say what I used to say in Daft Talk because I miss it. It's the time for romance. It's the time for love.
Saucy. So this is from the 2nd of August by Lucy Marshall. And the headline, hopeless romantic looking for mystery woman he fell for at the traffic lights.
Yes! I love stories. Am I going to love this, Rob? Do you remember that one early on when we started a podcast? That guy, I can't even... what I love... Rob and I did this story about some guy who wrote some letter looking for some woman, girl he'd gone to school with. It was really tragic. And then we couldn't remember what episode it was in for years, and we used to talk about it. One of our listeners tracked it down for us.
I think Amy found it for us, yeah.
She did, but now I can't remember what episode it was in again.
No, I've got it somewhere. I can look it up.
Good. Yeah, okay.
What? Do you know what? That's a good point, actually. I don't think she gave us... She found the fucking episode for us, and I don't think either of us bothered to listen to it back.
No, I did.
Just wanted to know it was.
No, I did, and I really enjoyed it, and I want to listen to it again.
Okay, fair enough. So, a whole man believes he met Mrs. Wright while waiting...
A whole man?
A hull. As in Kingston upon Hull.
Not as... Okay, I thought he'd really...
A whole man.
I thought he'd...
Yeah, all his limbs.
No, I thought it meant like he'd reached that point of self-actualization and he was whole and complete.
Oh, I see,
with no more to achieve in his spiritual development. But no, he's from Hull. The opposite of that, Rob.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. So a whole man believes...
Which takes us back to Bigfoot.
I mean, he doesn't look like Bigfoot, I have to be fair to him. He looks like quite a good-looking man, but for some reason, all the pictures, he's covering his face. Very strange.
But Rob, it always surprises me when you get these sort of religious zealots who say, oh, no such thing as evolution, it's all a myth. All you have to do is go to Hull and you can see the evidence of evolution.
Because they're so advanced. That's what you mean by that, isn't it?
Of course.
Yeah, right. Okay, good. I don't know if we have many listeners in Hull. I think even less now. So, a whole man believes he's met Mrs. Wright while waiting at the traffic lights and is now hoping they can be reunited again.
Oh, God. There was that brilliant column. I don't know if it's still going. It wasn't it in the Metro, and they'd have it about where people could write in and say, seen somebody on a train. Yeah, misconnections. We were looking at each other. I never asked your number. I wish I did. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of the Everest of optimism. So, Matt Baker, 41, was driving in Grimsby on Saturday afternoon to pick up an order he put...
Grimsby?
Yeah, it gets even more bleak.
You're lucky to see a walking woman in Grimsby, I have to say, because...
Alex, she was in a car. She was in a BMW. Obviously stolen. Right. I am joking. Right, okay. So he was driving in Grimsby on Saturday afternoon to pick up an order he had purchased before a romantic encounter left his heart aching. The self-confessed hopeless romantic, who drives a bright orange truck, lovely, said there was a spark between him and the mystery driver, and now he is hoping to be reunited with her.
How do you get a spark?
Martin.
So what? They were just sitting at traffic lights and exchanged glances. It's happened to us all.
So she was already there. Well, I don't want to ruin the story because it gives detail.
Okay.
So Martin, a carer from North Hull, has always had a fascination with cars and said other motors often catch his eyes while he's driving. Approaching the traffic lights on Peak Parkway in Grimsby, he noticed a blue BMW. As he braked to stop for a red light, he said he turned his head and saw an attractive woman look and smile his way.
Right, yes. Okay.
He said she was beautiful. Sorry. He thought...
Is this woman from Grimsby?
Well, we don't know that. But
oh, right,
possibly.
okay. So maybe from out of town.
Yeah, exactly. Which is also might explain the car. That's a joke. He thought she was beautiful, he said, describing her as the girl next door. Martin, who said he's an old romantic, said he'd love to see her again.
Was she the girl next door?
Well, technically, she was in the car next door, but, you know.
No, I'm just wondering. Maybe she did actually live next door to him. I don't know. It was
possible.
unclear. I didn't know if it was a turn of phrase or not. Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Said he'd love to see her again and hope that she might reciprocate the initial spark he felt. He said, I'd like to say to her, let's let the green lights go for us and see what happens.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I mean, in the past, David said he hasn't been so confident in his approach to dating. I would never just walk up to a girl and just ask her out. The only time I ever did it was years ago. She became my girlfriend, so obviously it's worked, so you should try it again. I'm not very confident around women. It's just hard to know if you're saying the right thing. In this instance, I just thought, why not?
Rob, here's a question. Have you ever just walked up to a woman and asked her out? Because I've got to tell you, I don't think I ever have. I don't think I don't, even though I can be quite a confident person, I still would find it odd to just walk up to somebody and go, I wouldn't even know, what would you say? Can I have your number? I'd like to take you out. My problem, I think, would be is that I would feel like I don't even know this person.
No.
You can't, because yes, you could be attracted to somebody, but they might just be a complete bellend.
That's true, yeah.
And also their voice would be important. What if you walk up to them and they're like, yeah, sure.
What? Yeah, that kind of thing. I don't think I've ever walked up to anyone. I think I may have struck a conversation, but not sort of go out of my way to.
Can we role play that? How that happened? So I'm this very attractive woman. Strike up a conversation with me.
Okay, so maybe we're just at the bar ordering drinks, and I would say something like, "Pint of Guinness, then? Is that what you're having?"
Fuck off.
Yeah, fine.
Is that how it happened? Is that what happened?
That's more or less how it went. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't say it was a long conversation. I just said it was a conversation.
Right.
Now, Alex, I kind of led you down a bit of a how about to say dark alley. That doesn't sound.
Is this going to go wrong somehow? Is there going to be some sort of tragic element?
Well, there's a follow-up story to this, Alex, that was submitted by Amy a few days later. Man
arrested for harassing woman.
So it's also by Lucy Marshall. Actually, it's the following day. Amazingly.
Right.
So headline: Romantic planning first date after finding a mystery Mrs. Wright who caught his eye at traffic lights.
So it's going ahead.
It's going ahead. She's reached out to him.
What?
So a whole man's search for a mysterious blonde who caught his eye at a set of traffic lights is over. She came forward to hold life on Monday after the self-proclaimed hopeless romantic Martin Baker from North Hull appeared to find the beautiful stranger he briefly exchanged looks with while stuck in traffic in Grimsby.
So you're telling me this woman happened to read the Hull Live, which is extraordinary in itself given the literacy rates in Hull.
Maybe someone read it to her. So the 41-year-old hoped to reignite the spark he felt moments before the lights changed. The one behind the BMW sped off. Let me just.
And he was driving an orange truck at this point, was he?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's a decent truck, Alex. It looks like it's brand new. But again, he's still, for some reason, by the way, listeners, just to make it clear, in every picture, he's obscuring his face. And I don't know why.
He's a Neanderthal.
Anyway. Calling herself Mrs. Wright in her message, the woman said, "Hi, I do drive a bright blue BMW and I'm blonde. I did have a brief encounter with a guy at the traffic lights on Peaks Parkway. I was in the left-hand lane and he was in the lane next to me as the light turned to green. I looked across and smiled, so we carried on Peaks Parkway. He then turned off to head into B&Q. Lovely detail there, Alex.
Yeah, beautiful.
In a bid to win over the girl next door, he saw the lights. Martin is being branded as a stalker by some, prompting him to hit back, proclaiming, "I'm not a creep."
No, he's not, because he hasn't stalked anybody. He just said he's chanced his luck, and good on him. It's borne fruit.
Yeah. Yeah, and the woman dubbed the girl next door by Martin appears to be unfazed by the public appeal. With her recollection of events perfectly matching his, Martin thinks it's her, and now he plans to get in touch with her. He even has ideas for their first date together. Whilst he usually prefers active dating like
he's
walking
booked
and climbing,
he's booked a motel in Hull.
They're going to Travelodge. Yeah, a slap at meal and Beefeater followed by Travelodge.
Followed by.
He said. So he got the opportunity to take the woman.
Okay, fine. So I'm not going to say it.
Okay, go on.
No, it's fine. Go on.
Okay. He said, whilst he usually prefers active dates like walking, climbing, he said if he got the opportunity to take the woman he saw at the traffic lights on a date, he would opt for a meal first.
Sorry, climbing. Are there many places to climb in Hull apart from the trees?
Yeah, out of the house you just burgled. Oh dear, I shouldn't make myself laugh. It's really pathetic. Yeah, I mean, it goes into his background. But...
What can I just say to all the listeners? When I'm making these remarks, they are in jest because I'm from South East London. Okay, South East London, right? So all these jokes could equally be made from where I'm from. So it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, usually they made. I mean, let's face it, Alex. We made the same jokes about Scotland, Liverpool, Manchester.
Yeah, everywhere gets equally abused. Yeah.
Yeah, well, definitely Wales, but that's okay because I'm part Welsh, sadly. Yeah, so that's it, Alex. They're planning their first date together.
I'm assuming, Rob, you are going to look for any follow-up so we get to hear what happens next.
Amy, could you look for any follow-ups?
Oh, please.
Especially let us know if anything else happens.
Especially if they involve any criminal charges.
Yeah, part of me really hopes that because obviously if he's been branded a creep and a stalker, part of me really hopes that whoever's written the message claiming Mrs. Wright is basically just catfishing him. That would be hilarious.
Oh my god. Yes, we should have replied, Rob. We should have replied. Anyway, Too late for that now. That brings us to the end of this episode of LA Podcast, episode 342. We look forward with a mixture of eager anticipation, yet some degree of trepidation, to our next episode, which will be 343, as we move ever more forward, Rob, like what, Rob?
Like a Bigfoot who's been invited to a children's party, walking past the window and terrifying and possibly, traumatising children for years to come, just like that.
Well, also, Rob, if you actually look at the postscript to that story, it turns out it wasn't a Bigfoot impersonator, it was a Hull man. That's what that was. That's what that was. Just like that, we move ever more forward to our next episode, which will be episode 342. We can be found on our website, lapodcast.net. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/LA Podcast. We're on Twitter at LA Podcast. We are on Spotify. We're everywhere. We've got on the website, you can donate to the worthy cause. This is podcast. Download all of the episodes wherever you're getting us from. If it has the facility to leave us a review or subscribe, do so. That's it. But we very much enjoyed your company. We're going to be back very soon. God bless.
And keep it local.